Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
We thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Besides, a different me, I'm coming. I'm flat out coming.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan, in the house tonight. Got a lot to talk about NFL, NBA, and especially some Major League Baseball coming down the turnpike. But first, let me go ahead and bring in this fine group of gentlemen. Well, I don't know about the gentleman part, but let me go ahead and bring everybody in first and bring my co-host. He the worst of all. Let me bring my man Seven in. Seven, what's up? You're on mute, sir.
Oh, there we go. Okay. The worst of all.
You the worst of all.
Of all.
I don't know. I'm kind of like debating who's worse, you or Ando.
Really? We're going to talk about... really? You're going to compare me to Ando? To Ando.
I don't know who worse. Ando can get out there sometimes too.
Are you just saying all white people look alike now? Is that what this is about? Are you mad because your Saints had a chance for two different quarterbacks that would be decent to start
and didn't sign neither one? As my grandma used to say, neither one.
They're both now sitting in Pittsburgh.
Yep. But you call, by the way.
Both times. I mean, if anybody wants to question it, I now have last week's prediction saved in a clip. So if anybody wants to try and be like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. As actually right at the beginning of the show. I didn't even waste any time. Just right off the hops. Like, let's go.
You didn't waste any time with that pick neither. All right, let me go ahead and bring on the second person, this motley crew. The other person who can get down and dirty. My man Ando. Ando, what's up?
God, I've seen
two things, sir.
That don't
two things.
With you.
Two things. First off, two things. First off, I hate to admit it, but Seven was right, yo. Seven to the T was right. And second off,
he was.
I'm going to say it. I'm the worst, man. Never compare Seven to me when it comes to being the worst, bro. That's my boat. I'm rowing that boat, bro. But like my tagline says today, I'm going to try and behave. I'm going to try not to swear tonight. All right. I'm going to be the gentleman of the podcast tonight.
He's going to try.
I'm going to try not to raise my voice, but keep my name out of Seven in y'all's mouth. Right? Because Seven's in his own boat. I got my own boat, man. I'm in my own boat. I'm rowing peacefully, right? Peacefully. You guys invited me to the show today, so I'm going to be a gentleman. But yeah, man, no, for real though, man, Seven nailed it right on the head, man.
He did.
And I questioned it. I didn't think it was a good move.
Your look of confusion in that clip is it brought me some joy today. Like, it helped me get through my shitty Monday workday. Just because I saw that this morning when I decided I was going to pull that clip just in case anybody wanted to try and step. And the look on your face.
No, you nailed it, bro. You nailed it.
He did.
You nailed it.
100% blind luck. Not even gonna lie. Just a blind guess.
All right. Let me send it over to a returning guest. He's coming back after a little bit of a hiatus. Remember my man Ambrose, the man who presides and dominates over X. I didn't even use my roadcaster for that. X.
Why does Ando look like he's broadcasting from his mugshot? Can you turn left, sir?
Oh damn! Yes.
There we go.
Also, we have to be talking about Marcus Stroman tonight.
Oh, refusing to take the bump on opening day. Yeah,
Asshole.
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna fucking total Stro move too.
I have a lot of things to say about that.
We gotta talk about last hour. It's broken. Blake Snell actually signed somewhere, so we're gonna talk about that here in a little bit.
Oh,
too.
was it Blake? Because you put Black Snell in chat, and I was like, dude, what's the difference between Black and a normal guy? Like,
correct. That's the difference.
Okay. Because I'm like, dude, why are we calling him Black Snail? What did he do?
Black Snail. All right, that was some weird. Okay, first we gotta go ahead and just get this off the top. Not only has the Steelers signed Russell Wilson, but they also traded for Justin Fields
for basically free.
And they also picked up their backup and their quarterback to be, because I don't care what people say. Justin Fields is going to be the heir apparent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they picked up Justin Fields in a trade for a conditional 6 that could be a 4th if he sees playing time, which I don't think he will.
Unless Wilson gets benched.
Week 9, maybe.
I think Wilson will get benched. I think Mike Tomlins went into, Ollie's bargain outlet with a handful of cash and saw Russell Wilson hanging out on a shelf.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'll no one else wants him. I think I'll pick him up.
I'll pick him up.
Right? He was laying there right next to the Ray Skywalker and the Rose Tico action figures. and
the bobbleheads that nobody wants.
Oh God!
And I don't think Russell Wilson. I can't. Who's the coach of the Broncos? Is Sean Payton?
Yeah,
if Sean Payton can't make him work, I don't see Tomlin. Tomlin went through a whole coaching career with like one of the grittiest quarterbacks. The guy was playing with bumps and bruises and sprains, and Ben Roethlisberger got like the shit kicked out of him for years. And you're shifting to Russell Wilson, who looks like he's going to sprain his elbow every time he throws a football. Like,
let me say this: the purpose of Russell Wilson is to get Justin Fields to where he can actually play.
Yes.
That is the job of Russell Wilson.
That is correct.
And now nobody's going to say it. And Russell Wilson may not even know it because he's, based on a bunch of reports, he's basically off in his own fucking world anyway most of the time.
Yep.
But the job of Russell Wilson is to get Justin Fields ready to play. And I posted on Facebook, I think by week 8, Justin Fields sees a start because Russell Wilson is, and the argument for Russell Wilson is he had 26 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions last year. And those are stellar numbers when you look at it on the surface. Russell Wilson is what we like to call an iceberg player. You look at this stuff here up top above the water, it doesn't look like, it's a bad thing. But there's a whole bunch of shit underneath the surface that is why Russell Wilson will not be successful in Pittsburgh, just like he was not successful in Denver. Russell Wilson's job is to keep that seat warm until Justin Fields knows the playbook, and then they are going to fucking turn him loose. because nobody realistically thinks that Russell Wilson is a long-term option at quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Correction. Russell Wilson probably thinks that Russell Wilson is a long-term answer.
He's like a black Tom Cruise. He's off in his own fucking world.
I'm sorry. We're talking about Sierra's husband, yes? Not Russell Wilson, Sierra's husband.
How fucking dare I forget to address him appropriately?
Thank you. That's why I'm here. Again, I'm the gentleman of the show tonight. I'm going to correct you.
That is correct. And I appreciate that. I can be held accountable for when I say things incorrectly.
Yes.
Sierra's husband is going to shit the bed in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to keep the seat warm while Justin Fields learns the playbook and gets comfortable with his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. And then he's going to get turned loose on that field with an actual team in front of him to lead.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to piss off a lot of fucking people again.
Yep.
I agree with 7 because I don't understand. If you go back and look at it, yeah, I get it.
You got to look at that division, though.
Don't cost a whole hell of a lot. But the offensive coordinator is Arthur Smith. He's not exactly known for airing the ball out. And Russell Wilson.
Arthur Smith, the white guy, or Arthur Smith, the black guy?
The white guy.
Okay.
Oh, shit. That's the bad one.
Oh, not Blacksmith?
Yes, the white one. Yes, that's the bad one.
Also, I want to let you guys know, I got all of you an Easter basket. It's just a bag of dicks.
You're sending us pictures of Dan?
Yeah. They're chocolate cans is what they are.
But I don't understand the signing when you think about it because Russell likes to air it out and he still can.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith he likes to short, more controlled passing games. So we'll see how this works.
And Russell Wilson, and here's the thing: when you look at the numbers on Russell Wilson, if you look at his efficiency rating when throwing into the middle of the field and in short yardage situations, he is dog shit.
Yep,
he is dog shit, and that is why the Steelers are going to flounder while Russell Wilson is under center. Once they feel comfortable with Justin Fields, they're going to turn him loose.
Now, I'm going to make an analogy here. Ando, I don't know how old you are, but I think the three of us are old enough to remember Jeff Blake.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback.
Yeah. And Jeff Blake threw a great deep ball. On paper, he was a really good quarterback. And I see I see a lot of late career Russell Wilson in him. I see him, and I think it's a good comparison because when Jeff Blake went to a team, there was no reason to say he was going to do a bad job. And he really didn't do a bad job. He threw one of the best deep balls, but he just couldn't get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Statistically was fine, but could never make the plays needed to win the game.
Yep.
And that's Russell Wilson, because you would think if your quarterback goes 26 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, you should have your team should have 9-8, 8-9.
Yeah, winning record at the very least.
Yep.
I mean, it's not unrealistic to see those numbers and think that team had a winning record.
Yep.
But it's also like your quarterback, your face of the franchise. How was he leading that locker room? Was he motivating people?
No.
Yeah, thought it was above the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
He have his own office in the Broncos establishment?
Yeah.
His own office, his own trainer.
Excuse me, guys. Sierra needs somewhere to warm up.
But when Sean Payton got there, you heard when they asked him the question, you heard what Sean Payton said. I'm not familiar with any of that. That's going to change with me here. Mm-hmm. So, from that point forward, he ain't never liked Russ.
Well, if there's one thing I'll give credit to for Tomlin over Payton is I think Tomlin runs a very, very, very tight ship. So he ain't going to let Russ kind of do whatever he wants. He's going to play team ball.
Yeah.
Tomlin is all about culture.
Mm-hmm. Tomlin's in the hot seat too.
He is.
Tomlin is in the hot seat. So that's why I think you're generous giving Russell Wilson until week 8. I give Russell Wilson until week 3 or 4.
Well,
Tomlin's in the hot seat.
Well, see, the reason why I say that is because you have to have him a certain amount of time because if Justin Fields gets so much playing time, that 6th round pick they get goes to a 4th.
But if Justin Fields is successful, they're not going to give
It'd
a
be worth it. It'd be worth it.
Who gives a crap? You're about to get fired, dude.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're right. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm giving it up to week 8. And I'm giving it that because like I said, the purpose for Russell Wilson is to keep that seat warm while Justin Fields learns the playbook so he can call a fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that happens, it's going to flip. Russell Wilson's going to be sitting on the sideline, actually feeding him veteran advice, which is I would be willing to bet going to be a far more useful spot for Russell Wilson than Russell Wilson under center leading your offense. Because especially with the way the word is out and everything and the way everybody sees Russ now, there is no way in hell a majority of that locker room is going to respect CR's husband. There's just no way.
Now understand too, and this is where I'm sort of kind of excited for Justin. Yeah, you let go of Deontay Johnson, which I thought was stupid, but I get it because he was a malcontent. When the bullshit rose above the production last year. And
my bad, I was getting the water, guys.
Yeah, you good. But the bullshit ran above production. And when BS runs above production, teams get rid of your ass. So I understand that part. Mm-hmm. But they still got good talent on that team. You got Pickens, you got Najee Harris, you got Jalen Warren, you got a good tight end, you got a damn good defense.
Freiermuth.
So, yeah, you got a damn good defense. So I'm sort of kind of excited for Fields.
I personally would have liked to see Russell Wilson go to the Chiefs just so we could see Sierra and Taylor Swift.
Damn.
Well, there was speculation that if Odell Beckham Jr. ends up going to Kansas City, he takes a team-friendly deal like Hollywood Brown did.
Yep.
Odell Beckham Jr. is in a relationship right now with Kim Kardashian, y'all.
Yeah, he is.
Can you imagine?
Oh shit! No.
Kardashian Taylor Swift fucking reunion?
No.
Can you imagine how TVs would fucking break? There would be short-circuiting TVs all over Kansas City as that weird-ass bitch and Taylor Swift are on our fucking televisions.
Thank God we wouldn't have to listen to Kanye. Bitch, you sure you ain't a hobbit? You sure you ain't a hobbit?
Fucking
okay, the halftime show is going to be Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift mud wrestling in the executive suite of Arrowhead Stadium.
I stand by what I said. The Kardashians have done more damage to famous black people than the fucking KKK.
I agree.
So yeah, the projected starting.
Go back and look at Lamar Odom and Tristan Thompson.
Wasn't there a basketball player that ended up smoking crack?
That was Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom.
How are you gonna? That's a poor people drug. How are you gonna date rich people when they drive you to the point where you smoke crack?
That shit took all his money.
They took him out of a trap house. When they found him, they took him to the hospital. He was dying of an overdose. He was in a fucking trap house.
Yep.
Like, how bad could that relationship possibly be? Where you're like, this girl makes me want to. I've never smoked crack before, but this girl makes me want to smoke. I'm gonna do it. I'll smoke some crack.
So yeah, the projected starting lineup for Pittsburgh as of today via ESPN is Russell Wilson at quarterback, Najee Harris at running back, Pickens at the one, Van Jefferson at
from the Rams,
and then Calvin Austin the third, and Pat Freiermuth at tight end. So they got some good players on the team.
I honestly, if I was Pittsburgh, the biggest gap I worry about on your offense right now is your line. You have to give Russell Wilson every second of time that you can. You have to make sure that is the beefiest fucking line in the league. Yeah. And that's also going to help Justin Fields when he starts taking the field, because he's going to have a little bit more time to make a decision.
Yeah. The problem is I don't recognize anybody from the line. They got Dan Moore at left tackle, Isaac Samula at left guard, Nate Herbig at center, James Daniels at right guard, and Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones is the only person that I know off of that list.
I think that the general manager is already looking at people to replace Mike Tomlin.
He hasn't had a losing season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I mean, this is the NFL, and it runs its course.
Yeah. Like, what have you done for me lately? But if you're Tomlin, it's honestly, it's entirely possible that regardless of results, his days are numbered. They're just trying to find the next heir apparent that they like and try to get him or her, because I could see them going that direction as well. Pittsburgh is definitely a forerunner and shit like that, and I will respect it. Getting him or her in the position to be able to take that job while allowing Tom to continue to make a positive impact on the organization. until he's going to leave to probably end up going to Atlanta.
But Pittsburgh also has a tradition of holding on to coaches because Tomlin is, you know, like you got to look at Bill Cowher was like the second or third coach in the history of this of the Steelers.
Between Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Those are the last three coaches over the last 60 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why I don't think they're not in a rush.
No,
They're looking at their heir apparent, but they don't have to. They are at least a wild card team almost every year.
Yep.
They always have a winning record.
Yeah.
They don't have to. I can see Mike Tomlin being in the hot seat. And I've actually said the last couple of years, I think he's in the hot seat.
Yeah.
But
you can also make the argument that it just takes one injury from Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore, and Pittsburgh's right in the mix of things. Because it happened with Burrow last year. The year before it happened with Lamar.
But I also think it's you know, the NFL, they don't like to say it, but they have flagship franchises, and there's teams they want to see in the Super Bowl. And if Pittsburgh hasn't been in the Super Bowl lately, they're failing. Because that's a team you expect to see. The Raiders used to be in that mix, but we know that that's never going to happen again.
But listen, you're right. But I want you to think about it like this, and the way that Pittsburgh and the NFL have to be looking at it. Right now, the AFC goes through one Mr. Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes.
He said Kermit the Frog. Damn.
Look, it is what it is. But
I think he looks more like Scooter.
But here's the thing. It is a fact. You are not going to the Super Bowl without going through Patrick Mahomes. You are not winning the Super Bowl without going through Patrick Mahomes, especially as an AFC team.
Yep.
So what that means is you've got to look the first if Pittsburgh's really trying to go that deep, you've got to look at that lineup. Can it beat Kansas City? Right now, the answer is probably not. I'm not saying no, because I will respect the improvements that they made especially now you've got in the QB room. But right now, it's probably no.
I hate to say it as a Raiders fan, but I mean, unless something disastrous happens, like 1990 San Francisco disasters, where like Joe Montana breaks his elbow.
Yeah.
It's Kansas City. There's no.
And that's the thing, because you're not going. Tomlin is experienced, but you're not going to outcoach Andy Reid.
Nope.
And when your best player on the team is also the best player in football right now, because nobody can argue that that's fucking Patrick Mahomes at this point. That's fucking indisputable. That's your guy. The direction is always going to lean towards you. It's just like if you were facing the Bulls in the mid-90s, unless Michael Jordan was taking the night off, guess what? You were not favored to win that game. And
the thing with Mahomes is like a he's like an AI. You think you contain him, and he figures it out.
Yeah.
Well,
you get him on one play, and you don't ever get him on that play again, because it's like he's a chess master on the field.
He spends 3 quarters analyzing and seeing what you're doing. In that fourth quarter and overtime, he picks you apart.
The thing, and I always tell people this, when you're playing a team like that, if you get a lead, you got to put your foot on their throat. You got to. If you don't put your foot on that throat, you're done. You're done.
I think that's why Vegas. I think that's why the Raiders are so successful against them, though.
Yes,
because they can't let up.
100% correct. And you don't, and that's the thing, and that's why Antonio Pierce is going to have such a huge impact to the culture and the success of that organization, because he does not take his foot off the gas. Antonio Pierce doesn't know how to take his foot off the gas.
Nope, sure, but I don't.
That's the team that scares me the most in the AFC West. Is
exactly.
Vegas.
It's. I mean,
yeah.
The Chargers are having a fucking fire sale right now and get rid of everybody.
Yep. It's not even it's not the personnel. It's the coaching of the Raiders that bother me the most, because
they're not going to win the division, but they're going to ruin a lot of people's. They're going to ruin a lot of people's season.
Absolutely.
I think the only team in the AFC that has a shot against Kansas City, the only team, in my opinion, because they play to the Chiefs' weakness against the run, and that's the Ravens. I mean, now you got Derrick Henry. You know good and damn well they're gonna run the football now.
But here's the thing: Kansas City stuffs the fuck out of Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City has an entire library.
Well, we got to see, because this is the first time that Derrick Henry.
How long has Derrick Henry been in the league?
He's 30 now.
9 years.
Yeah,
and that's 9 really physical years. What kind of Derrick Henry are you getting in Baltimore?
But this is the first time he's played with a damn quarterback worth a grain of salt.
But I mean, 30 in running back years.
But you have, but look at, and here's the thing, and this is why I 100% agree with what Will is saying. That is now the most potent run offense in professional football. In professional football, that is the most potent run offense.
Okay, but what kind of running back are they receiving? Are they receiving damaged goods?
He passed his physical. He seems to be in good shape. He hasn't recently had a lot of injury issues. And but the benefit for Baltimore, and this is what I'm trying to say, with the fact that you have Lamar Jackson under center, Lamar Jackson, you are going to use less miles on Derrick Henry, so he is going to be far fresher come the playoffs when it's going to fucking matter, and when you need him to run down the clock against Kansas City and run it down their fucking throats.
Yeah. The defense took some hits. Patrick Queen's now a Steeler. So the defense on Baltimore has taken some hits. But I think they can retool in the draft enough to be a threat. Other than that, I don't see nobody else in the AFC being a threat to the Chiefs. I really don't.
Buffalo has a lot of work to do to get there.
The Chargers let go all. Mike Williams gone. Keenan Allen gone. I mean,
and I really 2 years ago, the Chargers moving to LA is the worst thing they could have done.
Brandon Staley fucked that organization 7
He
weeks.
did.
He fucked that organization. They're the only team in recent history in like major league sports. Maybe some NHL teams lost value. They moved to LA and they lost value.
Agreed.
It's because, when you factor in the results, when you factor in the results that they've had, and yes, you can blame 2 games a year on the fact that they have to play Kansas City, but we usually, and Ando can attest to this, we usually split those games.
Mm-hmm.
But they should be building a team around Herbert, and they're dismantling it.
Yeah, no, they are.
And they may end up doing that with Harbaugh head coach. They may end up doing that.
I have a theory on this.
Uh-oh.
I think Harbaugh is there to wipe the slate clean.
Wow.
I can go with that.
In 2 years, Justin Herbert will be wearing a different jersey.
Wow.
They're just trying to see because.
Which is a shame, because there would be, if they put a good team together, him versus Mahomes would be the highlight of the season every year.
I fucking love watching Justin Herbert play. That dude is one of the most precise quarterbacks in the league, and he does not get the respect he deserves. And I fear a team being a quarterback away that has an elite. Like, could you imagine if we swap Tua and Justin Herbert?
Oh, geez, that Miami team would be dangerous.
Yep.
That would be the most.
That's 2020 Kansas City right there, with Justin being able to throw to Tyreek.
Thank you.
I think that,
and then you have Waddle on the other side, who was far better than any other receiver that Kansas City had besides Tyreek.
I think San Diego as a whole. I still call them San Diego. I think the Chargers are gonna relocate probably within the next 2 years.
Honestly, I think they should go back to San Diego. Honestly, they have the fan base. If they can get the city to agree to a stadium.
But here's the thing: San Diego's not far off from the problem that Oakland is dealing with. It's a money issue.
Yeah.
So if the Chargers are going somewhere else, if the Chargers are moving from LA, they're not staying in California.
The only reason LA got a football team is because Stan Kroenke has billions upon billions of dollars, and he owned all of that land.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he threw that stadium up himself. He said, I don't care about your goddamn environmental impact studies, whatever. Who do I need to pay? I'm building this damn stadium.
Now,
No other owner has that luxury in the league.
Now, I do want to go and switch side for a second. We talk about Justin Fields to the Steelers and how impressive that is. Let's talk about the Bears. And I just think, look, I've said on this show several times, I'm not a Caleb Williams guy.
No,
I'm just not. And you've pretty much made your decision with this.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to go so far as to say this, and I think Bears fans are behind me on this because they know it to be true. If you had kept Justin Fields in Chicago, and you use that first pick on Marvin Harrison
Jr.
And then you use that 9th pick, you either trade it away for a solid piece, or you use that 9th pick on like
an offensive lineman.
An offensive
lineman. You're either trading that pick for an offensive lineman, or you're using that pick on an offensive lineman. That is a playoff team.
Agreed.
Yep.
That is a playoff team. The Bears have set themselves back 3 years by trading away Justin Fields,
if not longer.
That's another thing that gets me too, and this is why I say no to this whole thing. Who was the last quarterback the Bears has ever developed in this organization?
Developed?
None.
They developed Mitch Trubisky.
He had one. I'm sorry. He had one good season. One good season with Chicago.
Yeah.
How dare you disrespect the development of Mr. Jay Cutler and his positive impact on
to be fair,
I'm not gonna lie. I loved Jay Cutler.
I love his personality.
I love Jay Cutler. I love Jay Cutler because I put him on my fantasy team every year because he was the king of garbage time. Like he was the king. It would be the 4th quarter, and they'd be like, man, you're down by 20 points. I'd be like, nope, you underestimate garbage time, and I got Jay Cutler.
I didn't care.
You just start winging that thing.
I didn't care for Jay Cutler until after he got a divorce, and his ex-wife tried to take him for everything that he's owned, and Jay Cutler said, nope, bitch, you need to go get a job.
To be fair with
fucking power
publicly. That was my dude from that point forward. Publicly.
He's like on the sidelines just smoking a cigarette.
Well, he's moody. He's moody because he's got type 2 diabetes. And when you're type 2, and I can attest to it, you're moody. And it's like but Jay just takes it to another level. He just don't give a damn. When he said that publicly to the media that the bitch need to get a job, bruh, I'm your biggest fan at this point because you absolutely right.
Jay Cutler was the epitome of give no fucks, take no prisoners.
Yeah,
he really was.
He was the first one to play the F around and find out. Remember, I'm the gentleman tonight. I'm not going to swear. So F around and find out.
F around and find out.
But my answer, my kind of to be fair, you're absolutely right. Chicago, for whatever reason, does not know how to develop a quarterback. It's just not in their DNA. Right. So I agree with 7, and I agree with you, Will, that this is absolutely a bad move on the franchise of Chicago. First off, you could have gotten a hell of a lot more than just even a 4th round pick for Justin Fields. Somebody needs a quarterback. And I mean, he showed at the end of last season, he knows how to play. And with the right system set up for him, he's good to go. But you are going to take a kid. I'm not even going to say a grown ass man.
He's not a grown.
Going to take a kid and put him on a team with you got Keenan Allen now, and you've got DJ Moore. You've got DeAndre Swift. And if he doesn't play well right away, because it's going to take time for that rookie to learn the playbook, what do you get? What's your excuse now? Chicago has no excuse.
And you know, up in heaven, like Al Davis is sitting next to George Halas, like, ooh, I did this one. Watch what happens.
and I know I've been pretty public on this show that I think you're right. You could have traded the 1st overall pick to even the 5th or 6th round. Look, there's probably 4 receivers that could go in the top 10 picks. You could go Marvin Harrison. You can go Malik Neighbors from LSU. You can go Rome Odunze from Washington.
I love Neighbors.
That's three receivers right there in the top 10 that you can go after. The top 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks, not necessarily in that order, but between Williams, Mays, and Daniels. there's going to be 3 quarterbacks taken out, and people are talking about J.J. McCarthy as a possible 4th.
And Bo Nix. Bo Nix is early too.
Dude, you have the space. You saw what Justin Fields did with your offense last year towards the end of the season. Chicago was in the fight for the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Bears and the playoffs going into week 18. Like, it blows my mind that Poles in the front office of the Bears was like, yeah, cool. We're going to go with this kid now. Screw Fields because he has.
There is no value to Caleb Williams.
There's not.
It is already very clear that he is going to be a fucking problem. He is going to be a distraction in your locker room.
Yep.
Which, even if it's the face of the franchise, you don't want a distraction in your
You saw
locker
how well that
Exactly.
went with San Diego and Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
Washington State fan, I can attest to that.
He might
don't want a guy
try to pull the Eli Manning later on. Don't draft me.
Dude,
Don't draft me.
I am perplexed. And now I feel bad for Keenan Allen, who goes from, like we just discussed, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, from Justin Herbert, to now have to work with a rookie quarterback. And who's Chicago's backup? I'm sorry. Is Glennon still in Chicago? I don't think Glennon is still in Chicago.
I think Glennon's gone.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I don't even know.
Whoever Chicago's backup is not admitting it because you don't want to be known as the guy who's not good enough to start for the Chicago Bears.
Exactly.
I don't like the move. I mean, as a Chiefs fan, it doesn't bother me, but as a fan of football and I want Justin Fields. I want Chicago to succeed. I mean, I'm that old school fan that wants to see the old school team succeed.
Yeah.
And Chicago has not had a successful season since Jay Cutler was their quarterback. Give that team
No. They went to the NFC Championship with Trubisky.
No, they didn't. They lost in the first round with Trubisky by the double doink.
That's right.
They went to the playoffs.
That was
the last time that they went to the NFC Championship game. Cutler got hurt in the fourth quarter against the Packers, where Caleb Haney was the quarterback and threw like 23 yards, and Aaron Rodgers was able to pick apart the Chicago defense. So it just, for me as a fan of football, I want to see the Bears succeed. I want the Bears to have a legit quarterback. And I think everybody on the panel can agree Caleb Williams is not going to be that guy.
No.
I don't believe 3 years. I believe they're going to be pushed back at least 5 because you're going to realize in 3 years that Caleb Williams isn't the answer. Now you're going to spend 3 years from now. Oh, this quarterback now is the next pick, and now you're putting yourself in that.
I mean, honestly, you know who celebrated the most when Justin Fields got traded? Detroit.
I think
because Detroit is going to be like, we're not going to be last for 2 years in a row.
I think the Bears looked at the media because the media is calling Caleb Williams the next thing to Patrick Mahomes. I don't think so.
I don't think so. And to argue your point, Ambrose, Detroit is going to run that division for like the next 3 years. They ain't got a quarterback no more. As much as I like Jared Goff, as much as I love Jared Goff, he is not the quarterback. If you can put a quarterback that isn't afraid to put that ball down the field with Amon-Ra St. Brown, that team, you are a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl.
Listen. Justin Herbert.
I could see Herbert going to Detroit.
Offense.
I would.
Absolutely. That would the smiles on Dan Campbell's face when he's showing up to work every day with that precision throwing dime.
That would be I would say that's your Kansas City of the NFC. Like that's the team.
Campbell would be like, Goff, get over here. But, ow, you just bit my kneecap off. Yeah.
But
get out of here.
The thing that gets me though, if we're gonna stay in that division, Minnesota no longer has a quarterback. Cousins is gone. Dodds is gone.
Well, I think with Minnesota, they're gonna see how Sam Darnold plays this year. I think
a stupid fucking choice.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, I mean, everything compared to Cousins in Minnesota. But I mean, again, how much money is guaranteed for Cousins in Atlanta? $180 million contract with how much of that guaranteed? Minnesota isn't going to match that, dude. So yeah, you take your lickings
they were
this
never
year.
going to match it, giving him a deal.
No.
I mean, it's
not after that first contract where it was like
deal.
$255 million guaranteed over 4 seasons. But
I mean,
no, I think
it's a dumb deal. Cousins still doesn't have a winning record against winning teams.
I think if you're Minnesota, you ride with Darnold, you draft a quarterback this year. If you can draft Bo Nix out of Oregon at 12, I like Penix Jr., but again, Dan and I have discussed Penix Jr.'s and his offensive pro style, which will take time to develop. But if you can get Nix at 12, develop him for a year and help him run Kevin O'Connell's offense, that's a quarterback that could be scary next year.
I mean, Darnold isn't to be a placeholder in that scenario, a la what Alex Smith did for Patrick Mahomes. It's not the worst thing in the world. The difference is you're not going to expect to still make the playoffs with Alex Smith as your quarterback.
I totally agree with that. But if you can get 7, 6, 7, 8 wins out of Minnesota, because that roster is still fairly talented. I mean, you still have Justin Jefferson. You still have a good defense. If you can get 7 or 8 wins and maybe compete for a wild card spot, I don't think that's a terrible season for Minnesota.
If they finish 9-8, it was a successful year.
Agreed.
I'll agree. I agree. Another thing I do want to talk about all the signings that the Cowboys didn't do.
Oh my God. I gotta hold on before we go any further. I watched a video before coming on here on YouTube. Are you guys familiar with who Tom Grassi is?
I've heard the name.
Yeah,
so he's a Green Bay Packers fan aficionado. He won Fan of the Year this year by the NFL Players Association. He did this thing all season where it's like if the NFL was scripted, and he basically plays the script writer with every single week of the season going on. Well, he just did a video of if the NFL free agency was script. He plays basically every team. He has a jersey from every team, so he plays every team. And he goes to the Cowboys after the Giants and the Eagles got into a fight. And he goes, "We're the Cowboys. Who did we sign?" And he goes, Yeah. We'll get to you. And at the end of the video, it's, "Okay, our turn. Who did we sign?" And he starts going through the paper. And he has like 10 papers. And he's going flip. And you just see the Cowboy fan getting all excited. Like, and then he goes, "You signed Eric Kendricks. And then you re-signed this player." And the Dallas Cowboy goes, "And?"
Why are we talking about the Cowboys? Is Pepperidge Farm sponsoring us?
Hold on.
Also,
he goes, the last thing he does is, "Oh, you re-signed your long snapper." And the dude goes off. Now, remember, I said I was going to be a gentleman and not raise my voice, but he goes, "All in my ass. Thanks, Jerry." And that's how the video ends. I thought it was hilarious. If you guys haven't, you got to watch it.
That's a poorly choiced phrase.
Yeah.
That's
No, well,
Jerry
Jones said he was going to go all in this free agency, and they signed.
Yeah, but say it like that.
In my ass is a little. Well, it's and then it was last night or this morning. Leighton Vander Esch announced he's retiring, medical retirement.
Is that Rob? I think that's Rob.
It's probably Rob.
It's probably my brother. Thanks, Rob. Hope.
But it's
or Stacks.
Jerry Jones doesn't know how to
Could
go.
Be Stacks, yeah.
And I think that's one thing people aren't realizing. Jerry Jones does not know how to go all in. He doesn't. He believes in developing his team.
Which isn't a bad way to go, but
it's not going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
He has a fundamental problem in realizing that this is a game of egos.
Yep.
And he hasn't been able to get it right since he got rid of Jimmy Johnson.
Yep, since JJ.
And Jimmy Johnson, I don't care. People, Barry Switzer got one with that team.
Barry Switzer got one in spite of Jimmy Johnson, because that team was set up for success.
I could have gotten one with that team. Troy, just do this.
And our
do the thing. But I mean,
Chad is Tyler Anthony is the person's name.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Tyler, what's up, man?
Wait, Ty, like Ty from the Geek Gauntlet, Ty?
Yeah.
What up, Ty? How's it going, man?
What's it called? Jerry Johnson. I mean, Jerry Jones. Jimmy Johnson built that team.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones did the right thing and signed the right guys.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize that he could have just been so successful just doing that.
Yep.
But he saw Johnson getting the credit, and it was eating at him.
Yep. There's a YouTube channel that I listen to called Sports SB Nation, Secret Base Nation, and they talk about the beef history between Jones and Johnson. I didn't know Johnson was actually looking at signing with the Jaguars to be their first head coach. That was part of the contempt between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson.
But yeah,
I mean, that's a piece of
that's the
history.
thing that gets me. That's the thing that gets me, because these guys, he's not all in. They haven't signed anyone.
No.
The Eagles have done better than him in terms of free agency, way better.
No, the Commanders have done better.
The
They
Commanders
signed
have
what,
done
Bobby
better.
Wagner.
Yeah,
Yep.
You got Austin Eckler,
Yep.
lot better,
I just
better.
beat them.
You
You
can
know,
say-
they're going to get to the 1 yard line. Saquon Barkley going to be like, "Can I run it in this time?"
Damn.
Quarterback's going to be like, "No."
Well, they don't have Jason Kelsey now because Kelsey retired. So he may say, "No, I don't want to go ahead, Barkley."
And Washington doesn't have Sam Howell anymore, so they got
Nope,
to draft.
he
him a
got traded to the
quarterback.
Seahawks.
Yep, you got to trade.
And then
you gotta get
Drew
your-
Lock
you gotta
went
get
to
your-
the Giants, if I remember correctly. So
and the Giants are going to be a clusterfuck, because I don't understand. Now they're talking about getting rid of Danny Dimes. If you don't pay that man all that money,
No, I'm sure the league is flipping out. That's the largest market in the league, and both those teams suck.
Well, to be
I'm
fair,
sure
the
the
only
NFL
reason the
is
Jets
just-
suck is the only reason the Jets suck is because Rodgers isn't playing.
The only
Rodgers
reason
would
the
have been
Jets
playing
suck is
last
because they're the Jets.
Listen, this.
I mean, you can put the best team on the field, and they'd be the Jets.
Did we lose 7?
You put that green jersey on, it's kryptonite.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through kind of muffled, man. At least on my end, anyway. So
yeah, me too.
I'm not. You're frozen on my end.
What's going on?
Did he
I can
leave
hear you.
No,
and secretly put a cutout of himself? Oh,
I ain't hearing.
You can hear me? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna back out. Try to see if I can fix this.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, while we wait for 7 to come back. No, the Giants are the how do I word this? Because the Giants are playing to lose. Like, they're tanking before even the season begins.
You even let go of
At this
Tyrod
point.
Taylor.
So yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Drew Lock. I want to see Drew Lock succeed, but at the same time, you're not going to succeed with that. No, I don't think you put any quarterback on that offense and they succeed.
Here's what I was gonna say. Okay, even if Drew Lock has actually made improvement in his time in Seattle, sitting on the bench, and he's ready for another shot to start, you have given Daniel Jones $185 million.
185
You don't have a choice. You have to start him.
Yep.
yeah. It's kind of like what the Redskins with Heath Schuler.
Yep.
We remember that. Oh my God, we remember that.
And he didn't even get to start the full season because Gus Barrett, a 7th round pick, was much better than he was.
Yep.
And that's the thing is the Giants. Daniel Jones should be sending Brian Dable a Christmas card and a fruit basket every year for the rest of his fucking life. And when you open the credit card, or when you open the Christmas card, it just says thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and then it's singing.
Well, I don't even understand. Why did they draft a quarterback out of Duke? Didn't you learn your lesson when you did that with Dave Brown? And you did it again? What the hell's the matter with you people? Stop doing it.
I think this is the case. I think this is the case. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And a lot of those, then there was a couple of Duke alumni really tight with the Giants organization. And so they kind of pushed that. So,
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I
mean,
wouldn't have done it. but
I
that's
wouldn't have
just
done it
me.
just on the sheer fact that what's his name? Daniel. What's his last name again? Daniel
Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Danny
He looks
Dirks?
like the TV movie version of Eli Manning.
Damn.
Like, it looks like if they were to make a TV movie about the Mannings, Daniel Jones would play Eli.
Damn. That's messed up, man. But yeah, I just think that it's a huge mistake for what they traded Saquon. It looked like they're gonna get Danny Dimes. There's so much you have to replace on that team. They didn't have too many. They had like no receivers. You forgot Darren Waller was even on the damn team.
How do you lose Barkley? You let Barkley. Did they let Barkley go? Or did Barkley leave?
Yeah,
No, they let him
Barkley
go.
left. They could have They could have made an offer sheet for Barkley, but they didn't.
Because he wanted to stay at one point.
They didn't want to pay the man, so he left. Just like Keenan Allen, they didn't want to pay Keenan Allen. Trade my ass, and that's what they did.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
I
they
officially
did.
renamed Daniel Jones to Danny Derps. That's what I'm calling him all season. Is
Derps.
Danny Derps.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into some baseball here. So we got some baseball moves. We're gonna go ahead and get baseball news. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the seventh inning.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
All right, Seven, what you got, buddy?
All right, so it was announced right before the show started, Blake Snell has signed a 2-year, $63 million deal with the Giants, giving them the best, pretty much the best starting rotation in baseball as far as 1-2 punch is concerned, because that is just nasty. It's just ridiculous. Scott Boras, the Drew Rosenhaus of Major League Baseball agents, did everything he could to get that man paid and fucking failed horribly. The next piece that we will see fall because of this, I believe, happens probably tomorrow, and that's Jordan Montgomery. The Yankees and the Astros were both trying really fucking hard to get Snell. So I would assume that the market for Jordan Montgomery just got a little tighter because the Yankees need him. The Astros need him. Boston has been kicking the tires on that for the better part of 3 months. So Boston.
What was the deal for Snell? I'm sorry, I got up for a minute.
It's cool. 2 years, $63 million.
Damn.
But Jordan Montgomery is 2 years younger, so there is a much higher likelihood that Montgomery gets a deal. I'm predicting 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, it sets off a chain reaction.
It will.
Have you ever watched the show Arliss?
Yes.
It was on HBO. It was about a sports agent. It was on like 20 years ago.
I have not, but I'll have to look that up. That sounds interesting.
Robert Wool plays Arliss, the title character, and there's a scene where they're talking about when Kevin Brown signed that blockbuster deal with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And Arliss was like, does he realize how awesome this is going to make my job? I have Roger Clemens. And like, he was like, but wait, 3, 2, 1. And the phone rings and Clemens like, Arliss, when are you going to get my money? And then it's like it shows like actual, I think it was like George Steinbrenner, and George Steinbrenner is sitting at his desk and he's like, oh Christ, 3, 2, 1. And he picks the phone up and he's like, Arliss.
Now,
That's great.
you said the Giants signed Snell, correct?
Yeah.
That had to be because of what they're going to deal with the Dodgers this year, right? You think that was the reason?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
I mean, the Giants are about the only team that can compete with the Dodgers in the NL West. Because I know
that's not correct.
You don't think so?
The Diamondbacks just in the World Series, and they got better.
Okay.
That division is what people were expecting the American League East to be. Okay. Completely competitive for a majority of it, because in that division, you look at it, you've got
Colorado, San Diego, San Francisco, LA, and Arizona.
The Rockies are the only team that are not going to be competitive. The Padres will miss even a wild card, but they will still piss some people off. Okay. The Giants, the D-backs, and the Dodgers.
I mean, even with the Dodgers, I mean, they haven't played the games yet, and that is a lot of egos in one room. Yeah. And, I'll go to the quote from Casey Stengel. You could have all the best players in the league on one team. If they don't work as a team, you're not winning any games.
And that's going to be the big question because we saw it last year with the Padres. The Padres dumped a bunch of money into their roster, and they had to get a fucking loan to pay their payroll through the end of the season.
Yeah. That's why I don't think the Padres will contend, because, I mean, when you look at how they fell apart at the end of last year,
what bank approved that loan?
I just know it happened.
Like, is this you, Bill? Bill, did you do this? Did you do this, Bill? Is this because I sent all those pizzas to your house last week? Come on, man.
The Rockies will be the bottom of the NL West, and the Padres will be right above them.
Yeah,
and it's the division will be between. I think the division may still be between the Dodgers and the Giants, but the D-backs will be making a run again. I compared the D-backs last year to the 2014 Royals.
Yeah.
And
I remember that from last week.
You don't think the Braves make another run?
It's possible. I think they're putting themselves in the right direction. They've got solid roster. Again, obviously, when you've got guys like Spencer Strider on your mound, you're going to make noise.
I think the Rays make another run before Baltimore does.
Absolutely. But here's the thing: is I don't think the Rays. I think that the AL East is going to be far more competitive than people realize, because I think it's the Yankees division to lose, and it pains me to say that. But the talent level in the AL East is not what everybody thought it was going to be with the developments and the way that these teams typically try to spend. And so what you're left with is a couple of teams like the Rays and the Jays that are and then you've got teams.
The Jays are like the Padres, though. They can ruin a lot of people's days.
They could, but you also have the fact that they have the 5 heaviest by actual body weight hitters in the league. So you're not going to have any speed on the fucking base.
Fattest team in the league.
They are. And all 5 of those guys are in your daily fucking lineup. Speed. No fucking base speed if you're the Jays. That's why I cannot even put them in the wild.
It's like when you played the Nintendo ice hockey game and you pick all fat guys and like none of them would move.
But that's the thing. That's exactly what you're looking at right now if you're a Jays fan. And so we have New York, the 2 that are left, or the 3 that are left, New York, Boston, and Baltimore. Baltimore backslides this year because it's a bunch of young guys. They now have footage on them. There's going to be better scouting reports. They're going to get a lot more smoke this year than they did last year. So that leaves Boston and New York. New York has better pitching, so that's why I'm giving them the lead on it. And obviously their hitting is better too. Like they're right now their roster is better than Boston's.
You got an outfield with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge.
Exactly.
Like, that's middle of the lineup is going to be you can't avoid it.
Verdugo, Judge, and Soto. And when Doogie wants to hit, he will fucking rake. And he rakes in Yankee Stadium. You know that. You fucking know it. You've seen it multiple times. So that outfield is probably going to be one of the better hitting outfields in the American League. You look at the pitching, and this is why I think that the Yankees are probably going to throw an offer sheet down on Monty tomorrow if they didn't tonight. Because with Cole out for at least 1 to 2 months, you've got to have something, because you've got to have your foot on the gas.
I'm going to say,
and losing the pitching genius that is Domingo Germán, because he did not get re-signed. It's the Yankees have to grab a pitcher, and it's going to be Montgomery.
All I'm going to say is Marcus Stroman is lucky that George Steinbrenner is dead, because if he turned down the opening day position and Steinbrenner was still alive, I don't think he'd even be fired. I think Steinbrenner would just disappear him. I think there'd be a federal investigation.
Just trade the Mets for Severino, get him back over across the city.
He's going to be a waste with us anyway.
He is. So at least you have Severino back in. He knows the deal. You can put him on the mound for opening day and nobody will question it.
I still, not even with any baseball team, if you're a pitcher, that's an honor. It doesn't matter if you're the Rockies or you're the Yankees.
Yeah.
You say we're giving you the ball. You take the ball. Yep. You're our starting quarterback. You're here. To turn down the offer to be an opening day starter for the most successful team in professional sports
that's crazy.
Mind-boggling.
That's crazy.
That I don't understand it. I mean, this is the one of the most storied franchises in sports.
Yeah.
And you have the chance to be the face of that team.
think about all the shit that the Stro has talked about the Yankees over the years too. Because Marcus Stroman has talked a lot of shit about the organization. Let's not mince words on that.
Yeah, but so did Johnny Damon, but he still shaved that beard off when we gave him the money.
Right, but Johnny Damon also was probably already doing drugs at that point that you're not supposed to do at all, let alone while you're an athlete. So that guy has clearly lost his fucking mind.
I really need the money, man. Yo, Lamar, you got any crack?
Wrong sport.
Exactly.
No. And plus, Johnny Damon doesn't like black people, so
I don't know much about him personally, so I don't.
I do.
Like, Kurt Schilling, he has effectively Kurt Schillinged himself, in Florida of all places.
Oh,
Like, yeah, he didn't just fuck up; he fucked up. Fucking Johnny Damon, man. But yeah, a couple of days away from the season starting, we have a series in Seoul, Korea coming up that starts on the 20th between the Dodgers and the Padres. The first time Major League Baseball season games being played in Korea.
that makes a lot more sense than the NFL playing in Brazil.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta go. I gotta go to Brazil. I'm gonna see what the ladies look like down there.
Dude, you will get
Don't
kidnapped.
do it, dude. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Women have schlongs down there, bro. Maria Long schlong.
And they'll kidnap you.
Yep. Don't do it.
What?
You want to get kidnapped by a woman with a big dick? Go to Brazil.
No.
Dude, seriously, stick to Japan. You like your Asian ladies? Stick to
I love
Japan.
Asian ladies.
Stick to
Just
Japan.
if you're
Just
gonna go
outside
to
of
South
Saskatchewan.
America, if you're gonna go to South America, go to the areas of South America where it is suspiciously German, and nobody will answer as to why it is suspiciously German.
Just go with it.
Or that there are German-
We all went on vacation in about 1944 and we loved it. We just didn't go back.
We just stayed.
And no, my mustache is not like that of Mr. Hitzler. We know. Who is this Hitzler guy you were talking of? We have no history of this guy.
Oh, no. It's just a plus sign. It's a plus sign doing a cartwheel. It's going to be a maze soon.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah.
No. My brother is Jewish. I like a Jew people. Yes, I do not put them in ovens.
All right, you're taking too far.
Also,
Ovens? What are ovens? We don't use ovens. We just have fire pits.
are you fucking kidding me? I just found out the center fielder I drafted my fucking fantasy baseball yesterday is out indefinitely with a broken fucking wrist. God damn it!
Right. Well,
Hey,
seven.
hey,
Seven.
don't feel bad.
Seven.
Don't feel bad. I lost Carl Anthony Towns.
That's a big fucking dude to lose.
I lost
Seven.
him.
Seven. I was gonna say, take a page out of my book tonight. Be the gentleman. Take a deep breath. It'll be all right.
You're only saying that because you're looking at like 5 cops behind that camera.
No, he said behind the camera. They're on the other side. They're not-
Idiot. That's why you got arrested.
Guys, no. That's all right. Look, no.
What?
Guys, it's okay. I can't get attacked by the dogs because my cat's right there, man. We're all good. Why do you think I've been playing the cat? Why do you think I've been playing the cat on camera today? Because the cat's going to protect me from the dogs.
And then the last thing here that I saw, Dodgers fans will be happy to know Shohei Ohtani will be starting different throwing drills to start working on getting throwing motion back in his arm following TJ surgery in the offseason. There is a chance that he'd spend some time playing in the outfield this season.
That's what's up.
Yep.
So,
So is he still going to go both ways? Is he going to pitch on?
This year
Not-
he's
Probably
doing
not this
strictly
year.
just outfield.
Yeah, this year he's not pitching at all, but next season he will go back to both ways.
Mhm.
I expect him to be, if he's pitching, closing within 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he did really well when he did that for Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic. And I would love to be that to be Shohei's role when it comes to being on the mound, because he would shut some motherfuckers down, and
Yeah,
you
he
give
would.
him longevity by doing that.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, appreciate you, son. Appreciate you, son. And I got a few things I want to get to. Even though Dan is not here, there's a few things I want to get to NBA wise in the hardwood. Let's go. Okay, the main thing I want to get to, KD is coming close to passing Shaquille O'Neal on the all-time scoring list. Do we care?
I mean, what number is that?
Congratulations.
I mean, he's coming close to.
Well, it's got to be top 15, right?
I don't think it's.
Yeah,
I
that sounds too high.
I don't think he's in the top 10. There's no way.
I'll take a look. Hold on. I bet I beat Will to it. Hold on.
Probably will. It's them 4 damn scoring titles the man's won.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. So Shaquille O'Neal is 7th.
Oh,
Kevin Durant is
okay.
8th, and he is 19 points behind him as of today.
Coming close.
I think it's got to be frustrating for KD because as close as he is to doing this, and I think it's great. Respect the hell out of it. It's an achievement because Shaq was a scoring motherfucker. Phoenix is kind of a disaster right now.
Yeah.
And there is some belief that roster is going to get blown up in the offseason.
Now it sucks, considering didn't they just get Kevin Durant like this year or last year, right?
Last year. And when I say blowing it up, I mean even Devin Booker being gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, what? You got rid of DeAndre Ayton during the offseason, and I thought he was a far better center than Nurkic is.
Nurkic is trying, but they're not. The problem is they're not getting a physical enough center, and that's what that means is a physical center.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is fucking marshmallow. Nice guy, big kid, great heart as a person.
Yeah.
But a problem in the locker room and a fucking marshmallow on the court when he's down in the post.
Yep.
And you can't have that as a center.
I think I would be more impressed if he made it into the top five or top 6. Because you have Shaquille at 8, then you have Wilt Chamberlain, 3,000 points above Shaquille at 7. Then after that, you have Dirk, Michael, Kobe, Karl Malone, Kareem, and LeBron. So, I mean, if you can make it into the top 7, I think you separate yourself that way. But, I mean, until he makes it into the top 7. Yeah.
Last thing I want to get a temperature on. The Nuggets now have the #1 spot in the West. Are they in prime condition to repeat?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think overall, I think they're the best team in the West. I think from when you look at their roster top to bottom, I think when you look at their coaching top to bottom, I think the Nuggets are the team that kind of separate themselves. And with 19, 20 games left to go until the playoffs begin, I think you're only going to see that kind of more solidify.
And in the East, it's between Boston and Milwaukee. I don't trust either one of them.
Don't count out Chicago. We did beat Portland by 3 today.
3 today. 3.
Yes.
Don't count out the Knicks.
Hey. We beat Portland by 3. That's all that matters, man.
3, man.
Right?
The Knicks won a game once.
We need to get that dub, man. Yeah, so the Bulls, let's see, the Bulls
You're still in 9th place.
Yep. 110 to 107 against Portland.
Yep.
Portland has a total of 19 wins. However, with their win today, it does put Chicago just a half a game below 500. So they're 34 and 35. So they're finally trending in the right direction. Other NBA news scores we got going on. Speaking of your Knicks, they are ahead of the Golden State Warriors going into halftime, 59 to 49. Timberwolves are currently beating the Jazz with a minute 08 to play, 107-99. Grizzlies are trailing the Kings by 10 at halftime, and your Lakers are beating the Atlanta Hawks 42 to 43. That one's 2 minutes into the second.
Who's Lakers? Were you just talking to Dan?
Yeah, Dan's not here, but Dan's in spirit. Come on, man.
Okay.
Just because the big chocolate dick ain't here doesn't mean that we don't love and support him.
Can I ask a question?
I mean, that's how he's sending out his Easter baskets, right? The big old penises.
Are we done with the serious NBA stuff? Because I got a question to ask.
Go ahead.
Why does the NBA have the corniest team names in like all of major sports?
Like, who's corny?
You want the Cleveland Good Feet?
Like
corny?
The Phoenix Suns, all the things. in Arizona. You could have named your team after. You named it the Suns, the San Antonio Spurs. That's the heel of a boot.
Okay, whoa. To be fair, that was ABA, sir. Right? Maybe ABA didn't come up with
The
it.
New Jersey Nets.
Look,
Like
the
you could have
Indiana
come up with a better name than that. It's like you looked around the
They're in
court.
Brooklyn now.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
the
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay, you're the Brooklyn Nets. You had the chance to rebrand and you didn't. It's like, oh, you own an NBA team? Really? What's the team's name? And like you looked around nervously and you were like, the Nets, because that's the first.
That's a clear name for a Brooklyn team. What other Brooklyn thing are you going to name a basketball team out of?
Pizza.
Rikers? The Brooklyn Rikers Island?
Brooklyn pizza, bro.
I mean, the Knicks are named after pants.
Okay, and that's any better?
They're the New York
Would you much rather
Knickerbockers.
be the
They're
Wizards?
named after pants.
And
Would
that's
you much
any
rather be
better?
the Wizards?
No, it's not. That's what I'm trying to say.
The Wizards wear knickerbottoms. And look, the only reason the Jazz have their name in Utah is because they moved from New Orleans.
Yep.
The New Orleans Jazz was actually a really solid name before that.
That's a solid name, but the Denver Nuggets, like your
There was
brands will
gold
be like,
mining in Denver, bro.
that's a
That was
turd
solid
joke,
name. That's
just
that's
waiting to
solid
happen.
name.
Well,
Only
outside
if
of
they put
recent
butt nugget in front of
history-
it, dude. Only if you put the Denver butt nuggets in front of it.
Listen, no. The Nuggets was still an accurate name because yes, that's a turd reference, but outside of recent history, that was kind of fucking accurate. Like, I'm just saying.
Why do you think Dikembe came up with the "not in my house"? He didn't want to be a butt nugget no more. I'm sorry, nugget. My
He didn't want to be a
apologies.
nugget. He didn't want to be a butt nugget.
Get that nugget out of my house.
No, get that out of my house. No,
You're the LA Clippers. There's no boats in LA.
Stop. The Clippers moved from
You got
LA
both,
from San Diego because of that douchebag Donald Sterling. If they'd have
Yep.
stayed in San Diego, that would have been a perfect name. I can blame Donald Sterling for that. And I'm going to say this for the first time because we didn't say it during baseball. You didn't say it, Seven, so that's your fault. Fuck Donald Sterling.
Fuck Rodman.
Can you say?
Fuck
Yeah.
Rodman.
Can you? Thank you. Thank
Fuck
you.
him.
I'm sorry. I didn't do my gentleman duty to remind you that you
and
messed
real
up.
quick,
That's my fault.
and real quick for my Saints who had these two prime quarterbacks on the board and didn't get neither one of them. Fuck you, Saints.
Yeah. And actually,
They have Derek
as of-
Carr.
as it stands right
Derek
now,
Carr's terrible.
as it stands right now, the Thunder did take back the first seed in the West. They're 47-20. Denver is 47-21. So at the moment, OKC now has the number one seed again.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. I think Denver takes one. I think it'll be Denver 1. You can flip a coin between OKC and Minnesota to be 2 and 3. I think LA takes 4. Sacramento overtakes New Orleans to be 5.
The Pelicans.
even
That's
see-
another one.
I could even see Dallas overtaking the Pelicans to take 6. And then your 4 play-in teams are New Orleans, Phoenix, Golden State, and LA. Not necessarily in that order.
Right.
Not if
Okay,
not if
guys.
Right. Golden State loses. If Golden State loses, they drop to 10.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Charlotte took the cool name. What do we name ourselves now? We got to rebrand because Charlotte's not the Bobcats anymore. They're the
No,
Hornets.
The Bobcats
No.
were a horrible name.
And
They
now
look
we
like
need-
That was a trash name.
Dude, no,
Because
they
the
look
guy
like-
named the team after himself.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, and
Like-
then their jerseys look like something that you could just recreate on NBA 2K24.
Hell
It was a
yeah.
horrible design,
You know, so
dude.
Hell
you own the New Orleans team, and you're like, okay, Charlotte, your name sucks. You can have the Hornets back.
Okay,
Right.
so they
What do we
renamed-
name ourselves? How about that goofy fucking bird
That's the
that's
state
always
bird.
flying around?
That's
is
the
the
state
state
bird of
bird.
New
Angel's
Orleans.
right.
That's the state bird of Louisiana is the pelican.
That doesn't make it any better.
But at
Well, you
least it's
can't name
rhyme.
them the New Orleans Jazz, dude. And New Orleans beads will just make people think that they're anal beads. So how do we do this? Do we put
Their
the
minor
beads
league-
in the
their minor
anus or
league
out
team-
of the anus?
Their minor league team is named their minor league baseball team is named the Baby Cakes.
That's you know what that's a reference to, right?
Crab cakes.
No, the king cake. It's a tradition on Mardi Gras. The baby cake, you put a little plastic baby in the cake, and whoever eats the piece that gets the cake, they have to make the cake for the next year for the party or something like that. It's a New Orleans tradition.
I still want the jersey I want is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. That's a real team name.
The Dairy Daddies. I'm getting me a Dairy Daddies jersey. I'm gonna find one of those fucking jerseys. I will have one.
And then, Will, to take on your point with the NBA, Boston Celtics are the only team right now that have clinched at least the top 6 seed in the NBA playoffs through either East or West. Detroit and Washington have been eliminated from playoff contention in the East, while Portland and San Antonio have both been eliminated in the West.
And you know what? I don't trust Boston.
Yeah,
because I don't trust their depth. I don't trust.
Well, who do you trust out of the East to make it into the finals? Because your top 6 is
tough.
Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Orlando, and Philly.
Milwaukee.
Philly probably won't last because they don't have Embiid and they don't have the depth to go. Orlando, I think we discussed last week, is too young.
Yep.
New York is kind of a hot mess. I mean, I don't trust
them either. I don't trust Julius Randle at playoff time.
No,
I don't.
And then
in the playoffs ever.
Yep. Cleveland could be that surprise team with Donovan Mitchell, depending on how he plays. But then you got Milwaukee and Boston.
New York would probably miss the playoff game, to tell you the truth, because they're like, wow, the season goes on longer.
See,
I've never experienced this before.
The problem is
I hate to say this. I hate to say this because I don't trust Doc. But that's a lot of talent on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I got questions on Boston's depth. I got questions on Boston staying healthy.
The benefit that Boston, and I mean, I know it's the regular season and, playoff ball is different, but Boston has a 10 game lead.
They do. So they can ease off the throttle a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if they, they have 68 from 82 is 14. Mm-hmm. No, that can't be right. 14, 24. They got 24 games left. No, it's got to be 18. They got 18 games left. I knew my math was batting up there. But I mean, even if you go 10-8 during that stretch, I mean, you still have, I don't think Milwaukee catches up. So if Boston can stay healthy even through the first 2 rounds, it puts Boston against possibly Milwaukee. And I can see, I can see Boston taking Milwaukee to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
It's still too early to tell, man. I just know Chicago is 4.5 games back of Philly for that 6th seed. Let's go Chicago. Let's go into the actual playoffs this year.
Let's go Bulls.
Let's go Bulls.
Let's go Bulls. Kobe right at point. All right, Let's go ahead and wrap this puppy up. Let's go around the room, see what everybody's doing, what everybody's up to. Ambrose, what are you doing for the rest of this week, my friend?
Oh, always writing. I have a bunch of new articles up on the website. Check it out, geeknewsnow.net. Nothing to do with sports, but if you want to experience the life of a nerd, you can check that website out. And I'm kind of excited because this knee injury puts me out for 6 months. So I have an entire season of baseball to watch.
There you go.
With no work.
There you go. What you got coming up, man?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Seven. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, Ambrose, if you got T-Mobile, you got free MLB TV coming probably next week. And you get to watch all the baseball you want that way. That's what I always do.
I got Verizon, so what I do is I hook my TV up to my computer, and I watch the games through Twitter.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
To be honest, I fight right now tooth and nail with my job, so I don't know how much longer that's going to go on. So my schedule could open up wide open. But otherwise, I know Robert of Anderson Posse on Twitch is working with his eFed setup right now. We're kind of working together to figure out when we're going to get that off the ground for Twitch. And besides WWE and getting back into Call of Duty, I am kind of not doing anything else, man.
All right. And last but not least, Seven, what you got going on, man?
Well, tonight I'm gonna eat some food.
There you go.
What kind of food? What kind of food there, dear Lord?
I am having red beans and rice with andouille sausage for dinner. I'm
nice.
Fucking excited.
That's what's up, man.
But no, I'm just getting ready for a stand-up show that I've got in St. Joe, Missouri in a few weeks.
St. Joe's outside of Kansas City, isn't it?
Right. It's where Missouri Western is, where the Chiefs do training camp.
Damn, dude! If I knew when you were going to do that, and knew that I wasn't working, and knew that I had money, and knew I could pay to get down there, I'd come down and see him, like a little 5-hour trip down from Kansas City.
Well, I mean, how much is your bail? I can help you out a little bit.
Damn.
April 13th is the show. A lot of great comics on the bill that night. Solid dude.
But you're the best, right? You're the best.
God, no. Oh God,
oh, absolutely, dude! You got to take credit for it, man.
I booked this show. I got all the comics together. I have a higher standard of that than mine, but they're making me include myself. So, but no, get ready for that show. Dan and I will probably do After Dark this week on Wednesday, and then I just heard from Craig earlier. Last couple of days, we're probably going to bring the baseball podcast, which this year will be called Podcast Name Deferred. Because like the Dodgers payroll, our podcast name is deferred to 2030.
I like that.
Do you guys want to do an opening day special? I'm still open to do that.
I'll get with you. I've got you written down. I'm gonna have you on. I just have to. I've got to see what's going on because Greg Rawlings, who was a minor league baseball player, is going to be joining us a lot. And I've got to see what Craig's schedule is like and figure out mine. And then once we narrow down when we're going to do this fucking show, then I will talk to you and we'll work it out because I want to have you on for sure.
Yeah, my schedule's open, so work around those guys and let me know.
I'll let you know. We'll make it happen. But yeah, definitely look for Podcast Name Deferred as that comes down the pipe. Lots of baseball talk. Me and Craig Newton, who was a writer worked for MLB Trading Card Magazine and a couple of newspapers in the California area covering the A's and the Giants in the 80s and 90s. So lots of stuff seen in those locker rooms. Lots of great stories.
Oh, no. He's got Dave Kingman stories.
Oh, yes. He has.
Probably has and Mark McGwire stories, too, man.
He's got Dave Kingman and Ricky Henderson stories.
Yeah. He's got Willie Mays stories. He's because he's really big on the Giants, like that's his team, so he was excited to be able to write for him. But he's got some good stories on the A's as well. Like it's good to get him going.
That's cool.
All right.
Whoa! What do you got going on?
Oh, me.
Yeah, you.
Me. I'm doing.
Why are you so interested in us, Will?
I'm doing pro wrestling. I'm doing Pro Wrestling Fight Night tomorrow night. Talking about the latest going on in pro wrestling. Then on Thursday, I'm over with the From the Sidelines crew to talk about some basketball. And then Saturday, hopefully, we'll bring Geek Gauntlet podcast back and get into the world of geek. So definitely,
I will. Whatever you decide, I am there for you Saturday night, my man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right. And if there is nothing else, we'll say thank you for everybody coming through. We do appreciate you guys. We'll see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel right here on the Sports Report podcast. Everyone have a good night. Have a good week. Be safe.
Have a good night, everybody.
Deuces.
Later, guys.
Ando looks like a criminal.
We have to end with that. Really?
Oh, yeah.